So rookie minicamp for the Cleveland Browns has officially wrapped up, and that means we just underwent day 3, the final day of this battle between Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel for the early stages of this offseason work. Obviously, rookie minicamp is not that important, but as I've said, first impressions mean everything, and both QBs showed up and did some good and some bad things. But there were a few clips of Shedeur Sanders released today that have me super excited. I do have to point out, the media has definitely painted things out in favor of Shedeur, and everything that Dillon did kind of went under the radar, and it was his interceptions that were pointed out, but Shedeur Sanders looked great. He showed why he has such a high ceiling, and why he could have and should have been taken in the first round. Also, there was some news that I want to talk about that came out from Todd McShay that I thought was absolutely wild. He said that 2 of the teams that said he had a bad interview clarified that he wasn't disrespectful or arrogant. This is Shedeur Sanders I'm talking about. They just felt that he didn't care too much about what they thought of him. Let that sink in for a second. The biggest crime that he committed was that he believed in himself too much to allow negative opinions of him to be said, even if they were or were not true. And this is what several people are calling a character issue. It's absurd. Like, in terms of this specifically, things are stacked against Shedeur. It's his family, his brand. The older generation hates that kind of stuff. To me, it's ridiculous. If he's a nice guy and a great dude, who cares if he's a little bit overconfident? Like, isn't that what you want? Like, why would you want a guy who's not confident, a guy who's scared? Like, that's just, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, man, I have to admit, some of this media hype that Shedeur is getting around rookie minicamp is genuinely hilarious. Like, you guys and the Shedeur fanbase cracks me up. And I promise you that I'm not being sarcastic or anything like that. This one guy made a tweet saying, "History made. Shedeur Sanders had another legendary showing in his second day at rookie minicamp yesterday. He was 28 for 30 with 412 yards and 5 touchdowns. Sanders is the only player in rookie minicamp history to throw for 400 plus yards and 5 touchdowns in back-to-back days. Hashtag dog pound." Like, literally, some of you guys are so funny and so creative, and I can't wait to see the jokes and the memes the rest of this offseason. But seriously though, just from a business perspective, Shedeur is the real deal. This is seriously like Shohei Ohtani type of buzz. I have never seen all eyes on one player like I've seen with Shedeur in just a rookie minicamp with no pads like this before. In day 3 of minicamp though, getting back on track, Shedeur made some over-the-shoulder throws, dropping the football right into the breadbasket of his receivers, and he launched an absolute bomb that went viral on X. I can't really get or find accurate data on how far his throw was because of the angle of the video. I've heard 80 yards, which seems optimistic. I've seen 60, but nonetheless, the agenda that the 1% of Shedeur haters are pushing, that he doesn't have the arm talent to be successful at the NFL level, is being proven wrong, because even with pads, even with pressure, one thing that doesn't leave and doesn't change is arm talent, and Shedeur has it. Just to kind of get Dillon Gabriel out of the way, because I know 99% of you came for Shedeur, let's talk about his camp as a whole. Gabriel was the more accurate passer over the last 3 days according to multiple trustworthy sources, but one thing that seems to not have been reported on a ton is his interceptions. Not only did he get picked off by Carson Schlesinger, but he also threw a few bad passes that should have been picked. But nonetheless, I do think a lot of people were pretty impressed with what Dillon Gabriel showed. Again, I know it's rookie minicamp, and you should not be trying to take away anything from it because it's minicamp. It's just about meeting teammates and getting a feel for the NFL and just getting started, but he definitely made a good first impression, and it seems to be a steal getting him in the 3rd round. I mean, there's a reason why he led the Oregon Ducks to a perfect 12-0 record in the regular season last year in college. And if you're a Shedeur fan, you probably did not like to hear that, but I have to be unbiased. That's just who I am. I can't just ride Shedeur in every video. He's great. He really is. It's fun to cover him, but it's time to give some props to Dillon Gabriel too, because he showed out. Alright, now to talk about some of the other players on the Browns real quick, because believe it or not, this entire thing is more than just a quarterback battle. Quinshon Judkins, the Ohio State Buckeye star, left fans buzzing with his impressive workouts at the minicamp. Judkins is firmly expected to be the RB1 next season, although he will most likely split carries with fellow rookie Dylan Sampson. While many scouts had TreVeyon Henderson ranked higher on their big boards, Judkins is also a potential workhorse running back with the ability to dominate out of the backfield, and I like this pick. I was leaning Judkins the whole entire time. I think he's a guy that can dominate in the red zone. I do like Henderson, but just because of that red zone ability, I really like what Judkins can bring. Sorry, I just said the same thing in a different way twice. My bad. But in terms of the whole Nick Chubb situation, it's definitely disappointing, but it really seems at this point like Chubb is not going to be signed. It seems like those days are done. I just feel so bad for him and the way this all went down, because running backs really are they're treated pretty bad in the NFL. They have a short leash, one injury, and all of a sudden you're just forgotten about. But hey, I mean, that's what you sign up for when you become a running back. And from a business perspective, not bringing Chubb back makes a lot of sense, because you're just going to be giving away $4 or $5 million for no reason. But I just love the guy. I think he's great for the locker room. He's great for the culture. Man, I just want him back as a Cleveland fan. He's like all I had. He was my favorite player, and I think a lot of you guys are probably in the same boat, but I guess at this point it is what it is, and we just have to move on. But anyways, in terms of Judkins, he's got elite footwork and athleticism, and as you can tell by the clip, he's more than ready to take the field and break tackles. Kevin Stefanski will go back to being in charge of the offense this next season, and that means that the team will most likely revert back to its run-heavy approach. They definitely did take big steps in that direction by taking both Judkins and Sampson, and also drafting tight end Harold Fannin Jr., because while the offensive line left much to be desired last season, it should be much better now that it's back to full strength and has a new coach in Mike Bloomgren. So all things considered, it wouldn't be much of a surprise to see Judkins among the early candidates to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Also, we got to see Mason Graham doing some footwork drills today, and he looked dangerous. He looked locked in. A guy his size should not be moving the way he does, and there's a reason he went top 5. The dude is a unit, and as I've been saying, it's going to be fun to see him lined up alongside Myles Garrett. Also, Kevin Stefanski has been intense so far. It seems like he's trying to build up a new culture in Cleveland because, as we all know, the past has been more than forgettable. It's been disgusting. Let's take a look at this clip of him establishing how nothing is giving, and then he made all the players introduce themselves as well.
The standard. This is so simple. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it every time. Your goal is to make the team. If you were drafted in the first round, you have not made the team yet. If you were undrafted, you have not made the team yet. It doesn't work that way.
Alright, so overall, I think this Browns minicamp was a big success. It was great to see the new guys out there battling and competing and building up a foundation. As for who won the 3 days between Sanders and Gabriel, I think Sanders has the slight edge because of the Dillon Gabriel turnovers, and especially because of some of the throws he made today. But I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think. I'm going to give Shedeur an A- and Gabriel a B+. But overall, over the next few weeks, the real stuff that really matters starts, and that's when all this stuff is no longer just speculation. That's when guys make the team, get cut, and roles begin to get defined. That's when things really get real, and it's going to be so much fun to watch. That's really all I got for this video, though. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Let me know who you think is winning this battle between Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. I think it's close. As I mentioned, I think it's close, but I think that Sanders has the slight edge, and he came out on top over these last 3 days. But yeah, man, it's been fun to cover these minicamps. There's been a lot to talk about. I did not show any Tony Grassi today because I know you guys hate him and his reporting, so I made sure to leave that out. But once again, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to show your support. Hit that bell notification so you never miss another upload, and until next time, I will see you all later.